What's up, everybody? It's your boy Brandon Blakeney, aka Brandon Lee TV. Welcome back to the Live with Brandon Blakeney podcast. Now kick back, relax, and come take a ride with me. We challenged the Uconn Huskies supporting cast to step up, and I tell you what, those ladies answered the call phenomenally today against a tough-ranked Louisville squad that had only lost one game coming in the stores, Connecticut. But those Huskies defended the home court. Paige Bueckers might be the best shot-blocking guard in the nation, and she's got plenty of help. And I'm just impressed with the way that these ladies really answered the call and stepped up. They're overcoming injuries. They only have 8 players playing in this rotation right now, so not a whole lot of depth. A lot of starters playing a lot of minutes. We know Paige Bueckers and Aaliyah Edwards are going to put up stats and do their thing, but we were wondering who was going to step up and make some noise outside of the big two. Well, we got our answer. But before we get into all that, make sure y'all hit that subscribe button for all the latest and the greatest, and join our memberships. We got that exclusive content coming daily, weekly, whenever you need it. Now, let's get into it.
You are now locked into the Live with Brandon Blakeney podcast. Here is your host, Brandon Blakeney.
So this was a really close game in the first half. It was a one-possession game heading into halftime. But I tell you what, that second half, Uconn came and dominated and took the victory 86 to 62. Uconn shot 59% from the field and shot 38% from three. They were knocking them down. What most impressed me, though, 2 stats. They out-rebounded the Cardinal 36 to 31. And it was a team effort. They just didn't rely on Aaliyah Edwards to get all the rebounds by herself. It was a team effort. 7 blocks. And Paige Bueckers had 5 of them. Are you kidding me? And then the assist. This was big, man. And this just shout out to the Uconn guards. Those point guards making plays. 24 assists. 12 steals, pressuring the basketball. Now, I will say, 20 turnovers is not going to cut it. They got to cut down on those turnovers if they want to have a successful season. But we look at the stat sheet. Aaliyah Edwards, 22 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. She was out there getting busy in the paint, finishing around the rim, and just showing that finesse and that skill set, that soft touch, being that anchor in the paint that she's been all season. Paige Bueckers, 20 points, 4 assists, 5 rebounds, best player on the floor once again, and 5 blocks, y'all. We cannot overlook the blocks. Paige Bueckers is turning into one of the best two-way players in the nation. And then we mentioned that supporting cast. First off, we got to shout out the versatile guard forward, the wing, the senior Aubrey Griffin. 25 points, 5 boards, and 2 assists, and she got everything she wanted at the cup. She's so good in getting those paint touches, y'all. I can't even get it out because I'm so blown away by her Griffin's performance. But she's getting those paint touches, using that athletic ability, that finesse, and just being that third scoring option. Came out and led the Huskies in scoring. And they need more of this from her, man. I was really impressed with her game and the way that she just provided that instant offense. Then you got Nika Mule, who might be the most important position player for this Uconn team in the backcourt, man. Other than Paige Bueckers, 10 assists. They need Mule to be that point guard and return to that form she was last year, being one of the elite passers in the nation. She's finding people in transition. She's getting players in their spots, hitting them in the sweet spots, and setting them up for easy baskets. KK Arnold, the freshman, stepping up in relief, 11 points and 5 assists for her too, man. You love to see 15 combined assists from Mule and Arnold, and they've got to be the ones to really initiate this offense and be the playmakers and be the distributors for this team to really reach that next level, in my opinion. Ashlyn Shade, another freshman, came in and made some big shots as well and contributed with 5 points, 2 rebounds, and she was essential on the defensive end as well, man. They're really relying on these freshmen, but the leaders, the seniors, first off, like we mentioned, Griffin just being that senior leader. Then you got Bueckers and Aaliyah Edwards. Do we have a new big three in Uconn? That is what I'm looking at right now. Now, we called out the supporting cast. They made shots. They took pressure off of Bueckers and Edwards. And we're seeing that Uconn has more threats than their top two players now. And this is what you wanted to see. This is how you wanted them to respond. Now, I told y'all I thought that they had turned a corner against UNC in that last contest, and it would carry them throughout this season, and they were going to reel off a bunch of wins. Well, this Louisville win, going 2-0 in the ACC back-to-back, is a huge victory for Uconn. Back-to-back top 25 wins, and we're seeing them get better every week. This is the type of just competitiveness, hunger, fire that you want to see them come out with, especially when you're defending your home court. Gino Auriemma has this team bought in on both sides of the basketball. They made Louisville work for every bucket, and just the way that they were able to affect the shooting, because Louisville likes to shoot a lot of threes. The way they were able to stop the transition, they weren't giving the Cardinal any type of easy transition buckets. That was big, man. So shout out to these guards making noise. And if you look at the rest of the schedule, guys, I think this is very favorable for Uconn. Like, you're looking at Butler. That should be an easy win for them. Marquette and Creighton, two Big East matchups. Now, these are the biggest challenges for Uconn in that Big East conference if they're going to take another conference championship. And these will be two good back-to-back matchups starting off in the new year. Creighton, tough matchup for them. But the big game I'm looking at, two of them. They got Notre Dame and they got South Carolina in February. Those are going to be the two biggest remaining games on this schedule for Uconn. And I think having South Carolina all the way in February gives them a really good chance to continue to improve and figure out this rotation and figure out, what roles everybody's going to be playing. But it seems like if they can keep getting this production from Griffin, Mule, and Arnold, they are going to be just fine, because you already know what you're getting with Bueckers and Aaliyah Edwards. But I'm looking at that South Carolina game. I'm looking at the Notre Dame game, too. We know they got Hannah Hidalgo, as well as, if Olivia Miles is healthy and ready to go, that could be a very tough matchup, very good backcourt matchup, and a really strong test, man. But luckily, the Huskies get Uconn at home. Now, they will be on the road at South Carolina, but those are the two games that I'm looking at in the future down the road. But immediately, I'm looking at Marquette. I'm looking at Creighton. These are two very winnable games. The next two games that the Huskies have, they're going to be playing in stores, and they are tough to beat at home, as we see, man. They've reeled off two back-to-back top 25s at the crib. And I think the Big East will be somewhat of a challenge, but UConn's got to be the favorite. They're playing the best basketball right now overall. You're looking at what Bueckers is doing on both sides of the ball. When did she turn into this, elite shot blocker? She's just completely bought in on both ends, and I think this is the best defense we've seen her play in her entire career at UConn. I'm just saying, she's scoring the basketball as well. You got Aaliyah Edwards. You got Mule if she continues to distribute the basketball and get these playmakers involved. They don't really need her to score, but, if you can get that extra few points from her, and, it'll help. Every point will help with them right now. I like the fact that Shade is finding her shooting stroke. And if they can continue to shoot the three ball like this, I really, really think this team is going to be able to make a run. I mean, Aaliyah Edwards, they're lacking in size a little bit, but Aaliyah Edwards is absolutely holding it down. And, sometimes they're going to match up and the depth might be a problem, but if they can get strong performances from the 8 that they're running with, I think UConn can completely shock the nation and make a run in this NCAA tournament. But they've turned a corner. They've turned a corner. They're playing more aggressive. They're playing more team-friendly basketball. And when Paige Bueckers is facing these double teams, now players are making shots to ease that pressure on her. You've got to force in Edwards to really just anchor that paint on both sides. They're rebounding as a team as well, as we saw from the stat sheet. So I'm liking what I'm seeing from the Huskies right now, man. I think that they are going to be one of the hottest teams in the nation. Currently, they are. I mean, I'm just saying, two back-to-back tough top 25 opponents. Louisville had only lost one game coming in this contest, and Uconn beat them like a drum. So I'm excited to see what else moving forward Uconn can do, man. But this is a big win for them, and they should absolutely celebrate. They're getting back, and it's hard. I mean, you're not going to lose 3 starters, no team in the nation, and be able to overcome it the way that they have, in my opinion, other than maybe Utah. So they look good, man. Bueckers got to be in that conversation for National Player of the Year. And they keep reeling off these wins, man. UConn's going to get back to those winning ways. So love what I saw today. Aggressiveness. They set the tone early in this contest and never really let up. They played at their pace, and hey, they came away with a hard-fought victory. So, shout out to the Huskies. I really think Aubrey Griffin's the X factor for this team, though. She can really change the dimensions of this team and how they play. So, it'll be interesting to see how she continues to move forward and progress and take those strides in her huge senior year, because she is playing crucial minutes and she's delivering so far. So, I love what I'm seeing. Love what I'm seeing from the young players, too. They're growing up fast before our eyes. But y'all let me know how y'all feel in the comments about everything. And what's the ceiling for this team? What is a successful season for UConn this year? Y'all let me know, man. And make sure to hit that subscribe button for all the latest and the greatest. I am Brandon Blakeney, aka Brandon Lee TV, your host. Until next time, hey, we out.